Mira Business FM, Dubai's home of business radio.
It's the morning drive here on Mira Business FM, and we are going to be talking digital directions in a moment. The UAE's taken the lead once again, the regional lead in digital innovation, now ranked number one in the MENA region, fifth globally for crypto adoption, according to a new report. Now, with zero taxes on crypto activity, rising retail participation, and strong regulatory clarity, Dubai is fast becoming a global hub. It's fair to say for tokenization and blockchain innovation. What does that mean for investors, though? What does that mean for entrepreneurs? How do we understand that? What's the future of digital assets in the UAE? Now, Benjamin Notini is the co-founder of XTrends, which is a Dubai-based crypto platform. It's built to, and I quote, transform how small market cap blockchain projects are created, launched, and supported. And he's here. Benjamin, good to meet you.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
It's good to have you in the studio. I wanted to start with you, actually, because I'm genuinely quite interested in the characters that are driving blockchain and crypto. It's a whole new frontier to us older people. You're originally from Boston. You're now based in Dubai. You've been active in the blockchain space since 2017, is
Correct.
that right? Yeah. So you've worked on a number of projects, more than 100, including tokens that have reached market caps in the hundreds of millions. So I put it to you, Benjamin, in tech, blockchain, crypto terms, you're positively a veteran.
Yeah, definitely.
Of the industry.
I've been involved. You know, I'm only 31 years old. I'm not. I don't have a big enough ego to realize that I'm still incredibly young and unexperienced. But when it does come to this space, I find that I have more years of experience than most people.
You really do. 8 years is an eternity, I think, in pretty much any tech arena. So talk me through the how, the why, the when, the where, your start. What got you on the path?
Yeah, it's really simple. So I already had an entrepreneur background. Started my first LLC, my first company when I was 19 years old. It was actually in the construction area.
Mm-hmm.
And I got involved in direct sales, network marketing, and I excelled in that. By the time I was 22, 23, I had built teams of hundreds of thousands of people distributing products and services for different companies. And I was around a lot of forward-thinking people who were already entrepreneurs, people who were looking for different ways to create additional sources of income. And I got introduced to the idea of not crypto, but Bitcoin.
Right.
And for me, there were two things. Well, actually, maybe three. I was already very against the traditional financial system that was in the US. I had a really big gripe against the fact that a lot of people would go to university, go to college, and they were coming out of school $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in student loan debt, and they were working the same jobs that they were working there. And so I already had this. I was like, man, you can get a $100,000 student loan debt, but you can't get a $10,000 business loan. It's interesting, and so I was already kind of anti-establishment in a sense. And so when I found out about Bitcoin and someone explained to me that it was deflationary and decentralized, it became really attractive to me. And the more I learned, I was like, man, I'm all in. This makes sense. A monetary system where we can't print or create more of it, and we can't find more of it in the ground. I'm interested.
It's interesting that, though, because I guess traditionally when you're young, you're a student, you would tend to be a little bit more, I guess, alternative in thinking, anti-establishment, maybe a little bit more subversive. And I suppose that's how the industry that you are now in was seen at that time. But it wasn't really that drove you. It was a sense of something else. I'm sort of.
Yeah, it was the sense of something that, because here's the deal. Every fiat currency in the history of mankind has eventually failed. It's kind of like a ticking time bomb, and a lot of that happens due to inflation and the idea that we can just print unlimited amounts of money. I mean, if you look at what happened in the US just in 2020 during COVID, 40% of all the money in circulation was printed during COVID.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's really, people want to make it really complicated, but it's almost like, okay, you got $1 in your pocket, somebody just printed another dollar. Is that dollar in your pocket worth more or worth less? It's worth less. Okay, so if you look at this whole blockchain, cryptocurrency thing, people make it way more complicated than it has to be. Now, I mean, you do want to understand the tech side of things and how blockchain works, but when you just understand the concept of it, I don't think anybody would disagree with the concept.
I don't think people do. I mean, look, I see blockchain very simply that to me, it's a quantified series of steps or transactions that can't be, well, in theory, can't be hacked or doubted.
It's
how I
an
see it.
immutable ledger. It's an immutable ledger.
That's
So
a
when
much better
I
way of
speak
putting
to
it.
people from the olden days, right? I say, hey, do you remember those checkbook ledgers?
Are you looking at me here?
I'm not looking at you directly, man. I'm just saying, if the shoe fits, you go ahead and wear it. But I say, hey, those old checkbook ledgers where you used to write, you take notes of everything? Well, imagine there was an immutable ledger, which means that no transaction was ever missed, but also every transaction was open source, meaning that anybody, anywhere who knows how to read the blockchain can follow every transaction that's ever transpired. It's actually funny because people think that Bitcoin, and people are like, oh, Bitcoin is the way for people to, do bad business and not be, caught. It's like, man, it's actually the very opposite.
Well, anything is that if you see it that way and you use it that way. Cash is particularly good for that.
Cash is way better than Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Cash is because you can't trace cash. Eventually, you can kind of do a lot of work and figure out who's behind what wallet. But when it comes down to it, every transaction that ever happens is traceable. Yeah. So the idea that you can, do bad business, whatever that means to you, and use Bitcoin and crypto to do it, it's like, man, right now maybe that's working for people, but I think it's going to work against people in the future. And because again, every transaction from ever when Bitcoin started you can go back and look at it and source it. So you can see where everything started, where everything went, where it touched, and where it's going.
I think it's coming, whether you like it or not, whether you understand it or not at the moment. I think a lot of people feel a little bit befuddled by it. Let's move on to what you're doing now. You're building XTrends. You've come to Dubai from the US. This is a creator-first platform that you're building. What's the aim for you?
So it's pretty simple. We're a platform that puts the priority of the creator and the community ahead of our own.
Right.
So in the small market cap sector, a lot of people refer to it as meme coins. It's much more than just meme coins, but we're talking about small market cap coins, projects that launch that have a $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 market cap, which is incredibly low for any financial project, but especially in the crypto space. And this space itself has a tremendous amount of problems. And right now, there's a lot of platforms. They're not the problem themselves, but they perpetuate the problems that already exist. And so my co-founders and we went back and we looked at some of the major problems that are just transpiring, and we actually designed a launch mechanism and a platform that helps people who want to do good projects actually succeed and helps people create income for themselves off their projects without selling tokens and without farming liquidity. And that's a fancy term for basically just taking money out of the project through the back door.
That's a great term.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, farming liquidity.
I'm filing that at the moment.
Yeah. So what we've done is we've done a few different things, but every platform that currently exists, they have what's called a swap fee. So every time you buy, every time you sell, you're paying a fee. Our platform gives 90% of that fee to the creator of the project itself. So there's a lot of really cool things that we've put together, but this is a big one because when people are running good projects, and they invest their time, they invest their money into seeing these things through. So eventually they want to get a return on their time and their money. And the only way right now historically to do that is to basically sell against yourself. Just like the idea of a CEO selling shares in a company. You can have all these tokens, but if you want to realize it into liquid capital, you eventually have to start selling it.
Yeah.
And so it's actually really unhealthy for projects and for the space because the entire game is set up to be a sub-zero game. So, ultimately people are investing time, money, energy. They want to get a return, and the only way for them to do it until now is to basically sell against themselves and sell against their communities. And it's not considered a good guy thing to do. You do that and you're a nefarious character in the space.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Let's talk about the UAE. Topping the MENA region and ranking, fifth worldwide in crypto adoption. You're here from the United States. You made a choice, obviously, to come here to the UAE. What do you think has enabled the country to kind of pull ahead in the space, particularly against regional peers?
Oh man. Well, I decided I've been living in Dubai almost for 2 years now,
Right.
and the first time I came out here was 2021. But there are a few things that they're doing and making it clear in regulatory aspects for creators, but also I think it's the byproduct of what the UAE and Dubai has done for their overall culture and city. I mean, if you anyone who's here just knows there's a certain energy that can't be matched. There's everybody from around the world. I lived in Miami for 5 years. People always ask me, "Hey Ben, what's better, Miami or Dubai?" And I'm like, "Man, they're incredible cities, but Miami has nothing on Dubai. Dubai is miles ahead." And they're like, "Well, what makes it like that?" I'm like, "Okay, well, you got 215 nationalities all living in the same city.
Mm. Mm.
You got true international, global reach in one little area. You can meet somebody from anywhere in the world right here. And of course, everybody here comes to Dubai with a certain mindset and mentality that they want to achieve something here. They want to take advantage of the amazing opportunities that have been put in place and the incredible communities that exist here. So they come to Dubai with a certain mindset of, man, I wanna do something bigger with my life. I want to do something bigger with my projects. People come here to connect and network and do business overall. So it's just a credit to the entire city, the entire country itself, and what they've done to make themselves, a true leader in the space. And I mean, you've been here 26 years, man.
Mm.
I mean, has any other country or city in the world developed as much as Dubai has in the last 26 years?
It's an interesting point, because I went away one summer and I came back 6 weeks later, and I was driving to work and I went past what had been a boarded up area, and there was a school there. And I just thought, where did that come from? But it kind of encapsulated everything about this city, this country for me, because things get done. And I come from a place where things take
I come from a place,
okay.
I come from a place where things, you got a road that's going to take you 5 years to build. You got buildings that have scaffolding around them for 2 freaking decades. And it's like, man, why do these things take so long? And then you start to realize that it's all politics and government, and it's like, oh, these guys don't even want to finish the road because they got a government contract, and the longer they stay building the road, the longer they keep getting paid.
You make a very good point, but there is, and I think the overriding thing is there is a will to do something, and you said that you encapsulated that really well there. There is, people come here to succeed. That's the point, isn't it? Let's go to retail cryptocurrency ownership, particularly strong here, I think. Obviously, another part of a growth economy. What's driving everyday adoption in the Emirates, do you think?
I think it's that people feel like they have a certain sense of safety here to try things and be innovative.
Right.
For me, coming from the US, for a long time, there was very, very, very unclear regulations, and people want to innovate in this space. This is a world where it's new. It's emerging. And if you feel like you could potentially get in trouble for testing out new emerging markets, things that potentially people have never done before, that might freeze you. That might slow you down. Now, I'm not saying that, that Dubai is just a free-for-all, but it's a city, and the UAE is a country where people feel like they can come here and be innovative and not test the waters, so to speak, but they can try things that have never been tried before, and they don't feel like they're going to be persecuted for failing. Because a lot of times, people who get labeled as scammers or bad actors, sometimes they are. But a lot of times, it's people who have just put their heart, their soul, and their energy into a project, and it failed. If somebody started a traditional business and they went bankrupt, nobody would call them a scammer. They'd be like, man, that guy tried something and he failed. But people start a crypto project and they put their heart and soul into it, and it doesn't go the way they want to. And then somebody lost a little bit of money in it, and they're like, oh, that guy's a scammer. That guy's a bad guy.
Do you know what? That's a really good point, and it's well made as well, because there is certainly a perception around the industry that you're in, perhaps because people don't really understand it, perhaps because it's a change, perhaps because it's digital, therefore it must be hackers. All of those things apply, don't they?
Yeah, I think I always compare it to and I was born in 94, right? But I love to understand the progression of technology and history itself. So I always compare this to the internet in the late 1990s. People used to have to be sold on the idea of why they needed a website.
The thing is, Benjamin, I was there. I remember that. Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah, so people used to say, why would I ever want a website? Why would I ever need a website? It's like, if you ask that question today, people would look at you like you're a little slow.
Yeah, that's putting it politely.
So now, what I know, and I've put my name, my face, and my reputation on anything I've ever done in this space, because I know that in 2035, 2040, the digital currency world, the cryptocurrency world, blockchain technology, even NFT technology, these things are going to be as common as the internet is today. And no one's going to be questioning, why do you need digital currency? Why do you want to use an NFT technology to verify ownership of something? It's not even going to be a question. It's just it's the only thing. It's like before 2016, everybody just said, why would I buy a Bitcoin? After 2017, everybody said, man, I wish I'd bought a Bitcoin.
We've had the Industrial Revolution, and I think the thing with the Industrial Revolution was that it was a revolution that people lived through, but you never realize you're living through a revolution. And I think now we're living through a digital revolution. You're right, it's as simple as that. Look, the UAE is positioning itself as a pioneer in the future of crypto innovation and regulation as well. And I think that's key to include. The report that I've referenced this morning, the UAE leading, points to Dubai becoming a hub for tokenization. How significant is this as a shift, do you think? And what types of assets are we likely to see tokenized in the initial stages? What are we going to see done first?
Well, what's already happening is people want to tokenize buildings.
That's true.
So that's already transpiring and it's already in motion. So people might think to themselves, why would you tokenize a building? Why would you, tokenize a real world asset? And what I've noticed is real world asset tokenization is a very slow moving sector in crypto because people are not interested in the small yearly annual returns that are guaranteed in a sense. Like not guaranteed, but more so reliable. People are looking to make big wins in the space, because they hear the stories. But again, this comes with mass adoption and with better understanding. So as big players come into the space, we've seen BlackRock make a tremendous move into the digital asset world over the last few years. We saw Chase Bank go from calling Bitcoin a scam to now they're buying it every single day. So we've seen a lot happen. So I think what we're going to continue to see is real estate being tokenized for a lot of reasons, right? Now, one of the reasons I think real estate is going to continue to be tokenized is because it allows fractional ownership. And
It allows participation.
yeah, and in my generation, the millennials, do you know how many people feel like owning a home is an unrealistic thing?
I would say it's a very high percentage. That would be
So,
my guess.
but it doesn't mean that they don't want to be able to have the benefits of, making making returns or having some kind of sense of ownership.
Mm.
So now with tokenization and fractionalized ownership, they can start in purchasing fractions of buildings, fractions of apartments, fractions of homes that might be yielding a return as a vacation rental. Because the millennials certainly understand these things. They just feel so slighted, and they feel like the previous generations before kind of got a leg up in certain aspects with real estate and ownership. That's how the millennials feel.
Yeah, yeah.
So as
Yeah.
they understand that, but they want ownership, they want it. They just don't even see it as a reality for themselves.
Well, it's getting on the ladder, isn't it? It's become harder and harder. From your experience launching and advising projects, what is it about Dubai that it makes it so attractive if you, as a crypto founder, in your position?
Oh, I mean, simply the community, right? I don't know how it happened or why it happened, but over the last 10 years, this has become ground zero for everybody who's doing something in the space. I mean, even just this last couple of weeks, right? There was Binance had a massive event at the Coca-Cola Arena.
Yeah.
You had Abu Dhabi Finance Week. You had Solana Breakpoint up in Abu Dhabi. Bitcoin MENA up in Abu Dhabi. So, I mean, just in the span of the last 2 weeks, I can think of 3 major cryptocurrency events that have happened right here in the city. And they're the most popular events in the whole world. And so everybody from around the world's coming here, but then also the main players in the space have already decided to live here. And I mean, it's very clear, right? It's because they made it very attractive from a tax standpoint.
Yeah.
So they attracted the top talent, the top holders from all over the world. And when everyone knows, hey, this city is the #1 city in the world for relationships, for contacts, for getting things done and doing things the right way. If you want to build an international project, there's not a better place in the world to be building out of than Dubai.
You should be a Dubai ambassador. You do it particularly well, I'm telling you. Look, the thing is, the spotlight is undeniably on the UAE in lots of different areas, but particularly, I think, the crypto space at the moment. And you're testament to that. In terms of the regulatory aspects that apply here in the UAE, and this is kind of nuts and bolts question, really. What's required to trade as a crypto platform? I mean, I'm not up to speed, but I know there is a process. I know it's stringent. I know there are very specific regulatory requirements before you can secure, what is it, a platform operator license? Is that?
There's a lot of different.
There's a few different things.
Yeah, so
aren't there?
it's there's a broad spectrum here, right? And it really depends on the nature of what you're trying to do with your platform. Obviously, there's a lot of projects that will just say, hey, we're operating on the Solana blockchain. Hey, we're operating on the Binance smart chain. And that's what typically happens with a lot of projects in the early stages, because again, if you are looking to bootstrap something, right? And you're looking to get it off the ground, you don't necessarily have all the capital in the world, you don't know exactly what you're going to be doing. You start off by operating inside of like this decentralized world. But in Dubai, they make it very clear from, okay, this is where you're starting, but if you're going to scale, this is where you need to go. You need to if you want to become really big, you want to, and that's what I think is so, one of the things that's so attractive about here is that they allow you to scale. People don't feel like they need to have it all put together before they take the first step. They don't feel like they need to have their Vera license and all these different aspects that are tremendously important just to get started. Because again, just like 9 out of 10 businesses fail, 9 out of 10 cryptocurrency projects fail, probably even a higher rate. So the fact that you can test the waters a little bit is another reason, hey, I have this great idea, I have this great concept, but do I really need to go, spend all of my resources on setting this up before I can even see if the market's going to react in a positive way? That's another thing that makes it attractive for creators themselves. So, but the licensing and the regulatory aspect here is mostly clear. There's still a few sectors like meme coins and small market cap coins where it's not super clear across the board, but at least what I can say is, again, people feel like they can have a little bit of autonomy here to figure it out. And as long as, and this is what I always say, as long as you're really not a bad actor, you're gonna be fine. As long as you're not really trying to do nefarious things. This is a country and this is a city, in my opinion, that looks for people who can help grow the economy, that looks for people who can help bring reliable, stable projects to the ecosystem. And as long as you're trying to do good and you're really looking to accomplish great things, you're going to be able to work with some of the, like they have the blockchain center of Dubai. You can go there directly and start working with people who will handhold you through each and every step of the process, dependent upon what you're doing in the space. So that's another thing that makes Dubai fantastic, is they have all these different government-ran organizations that basically take you by the hand if you're looking for it and guide you on what you need to do to be legit.
It's a city that looks for positive contribution, I think, and you make the point very well. Final question. We're a little bit over time, but if we don't look at the clock, it won't have happened, so we're fine. Just don't look over in that direction. And this is the kind of broad summing up question, really. How do you see the UAE's role in global crypto markets evolving over the next few years? Your thoughts?
Man, they're the leader. They are the tip of the spear. They are the ones that the rest of the world is looking to right now. I think everybody's trying to figure out, how can we be more like Dubai? Because what Dubai has accomplished over the last 4 decades is unprecedented in in the history of our planet. The growth that they've basically, I mean, if you've seen any of the videos where you basically see what it was 4 decades ago and what they've turned it into today, it's mind-boggling. Like it's very exciting to be a part of that. And so everybody, and that's just, I mean, it is the crypto growth, it is the blockchain growth as well, but they're doing it across the board. So this is just one extra thing that they're doing well. And I think that everybody is looking to Dubai and trying to say, how can we catch up? That's my opinion. That's coming from, I think that Trump, President Trump of the US, he's doing a great job of helping adopt crypto and digital assets in the US. But in my opinion, all these other countries, Russia, the US, China, they would love to be doing what Dubai is able to do right now in the digital aspect sector and world, and attracting top talent that wants to help build their ecosystems.
Based here in the UAE, that is Benjamin Notini, co-founder of XTrends, and I think fair to say a veteran of the crypto space. If you're up for ambassador, I don't know, some kind of Dubai ambassador, you get my vote. But Benjamin, good to talk to you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Don't forget, leave us a like, hit subscribe wherever you're joining us from. We're across social media. Get in touch. Let us know what you think. Thumbs up is always welcome. And remember, everything we do is available to watch and or listen again to. So just search Mira Business FM wherever you get your podcasts and your social updates from. This is Mira Business FM.